Family, this is one of our earlier videos on the new year. In case you haven't watched any other videos, Happy New Year. This is Alex here from Van Gante House German Shepherds. Our channel is not just a German Shepherd channel, but is an all breed channel. A lot of the topics we talk about are puppy raising, puppy socialization, how to provide the best possible home for puppies, how to match a puppy with a buyer and give them the best possible outcome. Genetics is a big topic on this channel, but it is a German Shepherd channel where this breed is the main focus in some of our videos. So 99% of our puppies go to pet homes, even though we breed working Shepherd. Working lines, the vast majority of buyers are not working dog buyers, they're pet buyers. So they care about the pet qualities of the dog, not the working ability of the dog. They like to understand that the ability is there, but they're not really focused on it. On the other hand, 1% of our buyers are focused on the temperament qualities that make for a personal protection dog or a sport dog. One of the buyers interested in this kind of a dog recently called me and he says, "Do you sell very civil dogs? I want a personal protection dog." Which was a surprise question for me. I'm often not asked such a question. My response was as follows. I told him, "You can't tell the dog what it'll be at 8 weeks old. You don't know if it'll be working in prey or defense or what it'll do. You can't tell. It's just too young. I cannot say to you what the dog will be like. That's a function of how you raise it." But he says, "Well, I want a very civil dog. I want a dog which is real." And I said, "Our bloodlines are mostly sport bloodlines, but that doesn't mean they're not real." He goes, No. I want a dog that will attack the opponent without him wearing equipment." Now, this type of buyer thinks he knows exactly what he wants. But what he wants, he will not be able to deal with if he has a dog like that. 99% of people can't handle ordinary behavior, never mind advanced training behavior that requires specialized skills in the form of helper work. The owner himself cannot do decoy work. You need a decoy to bring out the decoy training in a dog. So the skill of the helper is critical in developing the dog. Now, a lot of people can develop obedience in a dog, but not a lot of people can develop protection skill in a dog. And how the dog is trained is the key to its development. Is either a personal protection dog or a sport dog. Prior to 1996, there was no books on personal protection. There was a lot of books on obedience, but until Dr. Helmut Reiser wrote his book Der Schutzhund, where he talked about drive building in prey, defense, fight, drive, and drive promotion, there was no such book on this specific topic. So this book, as far as I know, was one of the first books on this topic. But I hear it very often, and it's becoming normal for people to say this as if it's true, that sport dogs are not real, and in a real life encounter, they will not protect you. And it's taken as a gospel, as if it's true. And there are a couple of famous YouTube influencers, who shall remain nameless, who said, well, you need tough, old-fashioned dogs which work in defense, and you got to start off in defense because the dog will default back to the original behavior it was trained in. If it was trained in prey, it'll default under pressure to its initial training methodology, which if it's prey, is prey. And defense, for defense work, is exactly as it's called, defense. And prey, while it's good for sport, is not really necessary for personal protection. This is not, in my opinion, the correct view. First of all, you haven't been around as many sport dogs as I have. I've been doing sport dog training since 2001. That's 24 years. I've been around German Shepherd since 1989, but I've been doing Schutzhund since 2001. And believe me, there are quite a few dogs which are so-called sport dogs, which are looking at you, and you know, and they know, now they're under control, but if they're just waiting for a command, and equipment or no equipment, they're going to get you. They're looking at you with such intensity that you can read their mind. They're just waiting for the go word, and they'll bite you for real. Now, are the vast majority of dogs equipment focused? Yes. There are plenty of sport dogs which cannot do protection work without equipment. That is true. But to say it as a general statement that it applies to every sport dog is not true. It is not true that a dog trained in sport has no defense drive or no ability to work in aggression. They absolutely have the ability to work in aggression. And a dog which is trained in bite development on a puppy tug and then a bite pillow and later a soft sleeve and later a hard sleeve, that dog is taught the mechanics of biting in prey. And that kind of biting is necessary for what's apprehension behavior. In other words, for example, the escape bite. I'm going to show you a video later on in this video. I'm going to show some bite work on my channel. And you'll see, and I'll put a voiceover over it, but you'll see dog doing what's called apprehension bite work, where if a dog is a police work, it has to do offensive bite work, not defensive bite work. It has to go chase the criminal. And that's why the criminal's running away, and the dog has to bite in prey. Now, a criminal is not going to run with his arm extended like this. Come on, boy, bite me here, bite me here. And he's going to run with his arm extended. Obviously, if the criminal could turn around and start kicking at the dog, that's when the dog has to switch from prey to defense. If the dog doesn't, something is missing in its training. But that's a very real possibility. Now, Schutzhund is not designed to be personal protection dog training. It is designed as a sport. Now, why does this sport exist? Well, this sport exists as a selection criteria for breeding. If you're following the German Shepherd standard in Germany, not in the US. In the US, dogs don't have to do all this to be bred. But in Germany, both the male and female must have at least a Schutzhund 1 and must do an AD before it's core classed or has a Korang, or in other words, goes before a breedmeister for confirmation test. But it must have at least a Schutzhund 1. Now, too many dogs in sport work are trained to target a specific body part. If they're trained to bite the sleeve here, or if they're trained in PSA or KNPV, you might see them trained to bite on the bicep, which is a very painful bite here. Some dogs are trained to bite on the weapon hand in PSA, for example. But if the person is turning around, he's constantly changing the weapon hand positionally, getting away from being bitten. And in the meantime, if the rest of his body is free, he can kick and hurt the dog or knife the dog. And so a dog which is trained in targeting a specific body part would not work against an intelligent attacker who knows how to take on the dog. Most people would be afraid of a dog, so they would not react this way. But an attacker who knows dogs might respond that way. So the goal of Schutzhund is not to teach personal protection. That is not the nature of the sport. The nature of the sport is to act as a selection criteria of which dogs have enough bravery to take on an opponent, or if an opponent is running at the dog, not away from the dog, which dog can take the fight to the man and not run the opposite direction. So Schutzhund is designed to test breed-worthy individuals and not non-breed-worthy individuals. So the selection of dogs from Schutzhund is where personal protection or sport dogs come from, or police dogs, or personal protection dogs, or KMPV dogs. In other words, it's not like you go up to a shelf in a supermarket and there are oranges and lemons there. And you go to the grocer and say, give me that slice there, which are oranges, but don't give me lemons. Give me oranges. I don't want that citrus. I want this citrus. It's not like you can go into an aisle in a store and you're picking out the personal protection dogs, but not the sport dogs. They come from the same gene pool. They come from the same dogs. It's just some have more defense drive and more aggression, and some have more prey drive. But they come from the same breeding stock for both sets of tasks. So it's not like you can say, well, give me this bloodline or that bloodline because this is what my aim is with this dog. People calling a breeder will say, well, I want a dog which is very civil. No dog is civil when it's a puppy. If it is, there's something wrong with that dog. If the dog is showing aggression, such a young age, it's just a tiny dog. It shouldn't be showing aggression. It could be showing prey drive. Remember, prey drive is an extension of the hunting instinct. The dog wants to hunt for food. So the acquisition of food is done through prey drive and hunt drive. Hunt drive and prey drive are related drives. So you can't call a breeder and say, I want real dogs. Now, there are some lines which are known for more aggression than others. The Deerhook line, Tierhook. The Genopel line. Some of these dogs are descended from the old DDR dogs of former East Germany. So the Czech lines of today are the only descendants of the DDR dogs that used to exist. Now some people say, well, I have DDR dogs. I doubt it, because the Deutsche Democratic Republic fell in 1989 when the Berlin Wall went down. Now there are some preservation breeders which do breed DDR, but for the most part, in my opinion, it's a marketing gimmick. So there are Czech lines which are like the Equidius line, which is a very sporty line. There are West German dogs like the Carthago line, the Bolognaca line. Some of you may recognize these names. For some of you, they mean nothing. So what I'm saying is there are some lines which are known to produce harder dogs or more aggressive dogs, and there are some lines which are known to produce more sporty dogs. That is true. But it's not exclusively a personal protection dog or a sport dog. In other words, they come from the same bloodlines, and depending on how the dog is trained, it's how the dog will be developed. In the next section of the video, I'm going to show you how a Border Collie herds sheep and how a German Shepherd herds sheep. Why am I showing you this? In German Shepherds, the grip, the quality of the grip is genetic. So in the Schutzhund 3 trial, you will go 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth swing, it was the hit with the rubber stick. And the dog would lose its grip because it got hit with a rubber stick, or it would bite harder under the pressure of the aggression by the opponent. Now, without stick hits, you can't test it anymore. So weaker dogs will now pass that otherwise would not pass. So the stick hit was used to rule out dogs which lose grip, in other words, lose confidence by losing grip, in fighting back with an opponent that challenges them. Because we now have these fur mommies that are now controlling politicians, and politicians only care about votes, they have a strong vocal lobby that protects against stick hits in Schutzhund, which is a bite sport. In fact, if they had their way, they would stop all bite sports. Bite sports will not go away, but they'll probably go underground in the next 10 to 12 years. Because the benefit of these sports for police work and military dog is not being recognized, and it's a way to breed harder and stronger dogs that can resist an opponent yet still stay in the fight. Dogs which have courage and heart. Without some test and yardstick by which to measure such qualities, all dogs will become golden retrievers. In other words, soft and no ability to offer meaningful protection to the owner. The bottom line is, folks, is that there's no such thing as sport dogs are soft and only work in prey, and personal protection dogs are hard and only work in defense. I've seen $75,000 protection dogs, estate dogs, and only a millionaire can buy a dog for 75,000. And these dogs, the millionaire doesn't understand bite sport, so they see a dog biting in a bite sleeve, and that's impressive to them because they've never seen something like it before. And these dogs are sold as personal protection dogs. In reality, they're just sport dogs. And if in a real life encounter, they might not know how to act. A dog needs to have additional training on a suit and then maybe a hidden sleeve. It needs to be taught a measure of um, suspiciousness. Now, a dog has to also be very friendly to work in a family environment. So it depends if you want your dog handled by a professional bodyguard guarding your estate with guns and dogs, or you're going to handle the so-called personal protection dog as a member of your family and you expect it to act in case of a kidnapping event or something else. So that being said, there are so-called personal protection dogs, which really are not personal protection dogs. They're just sport dogs sold at a high price as personal protection dogs. So it's a cheating the buyer, basically. And on the other hand, there are so-called sport dogs, which can work without equipment. Now, is it all personal protection dogs are sport dogs? No. Is it all sport dogs can only work in prey and only with equipment? No. In other words, my point is these generalizations don't mean anything. I'm about to show you herding behavior, and then I'm about to show you bite behavior, and I'm going to walk you through these videos. Please stand by. You'll see what I mean in a minute. So here we have a nice Czech dog with a big blocky head, the East German look, because Czech dogs are descended from East German dogs. Now, is this dog working in defense in the beginning of the video? No, he's working. Is he working in prey? Well, when he's being teased by Mike, the helper, he's being provoked in defense. But then he relieves the pressure of defense through prey. In other words, this is primarily a prey-driven dog, but he is relieving the pressure of defense through prey, which is how he has been taught. And once he wins the sleeve, the fight is over. Now here you see him doing the escape bite. This is how you would apprehend a criminal running away. Is this in defense or prey drive? Well, clearly this is in prey drive. The man is running away, so he's catching the bad guy. So this is clearly a demonstration of prey drive. Now you will see Mike training the dog uh, in prey drive because he's being taught to grip and have a strong grip on the sleeve. Remember, a strong grip is genetic in German Shepherds, and this dog is learning to grip and then hold on. Uh, Now, to transition this dog into becoming a personal protection dog, you would have to challenge and threaten the dog as he will grip to relieve the pressure of the defensive behavior will kick in, and then prey drive behavior will relieve the pressure of defense. Now, this is a training session. This is not designed to test the dog. It's designed to train. The next dog is Mag van Volschried, whose grandmother is Frenzy van Roodham, which was born van Volschried's mother. So this dog is a nephew to my old dog Born van Volschried. That's why I have a video of him. He lives in Germany, not the US. Clearly, this dog is working in prey. This is purely a sport exercise. So what you're seeing is a purely sport dog, not a personal protection dog. Watch the difference. Now the next dog is Karl van Brandenburg. This is the father of my dog Bailey and the grandfather of my dog Lucy. He's also the great-grandfather of Uno van Voltenhoven, who's on my website. Clearly, this is prey work. He's running after a suspect. Now, in KNTV, the man is wearing a bite suit, and the dog can bite on the leg or the arm. In Schutzhund, the dog can only bite on the arm. Clearly, this is prey work, not defense work. But in other parts of the exercise indicating the dogs are working in defense now. In this exercise, this is purely prey work. Clearly you saw something similar to a side transport, and then you saw the man trying to escape, the so-called policeman, which is obviously just the owner, and then the dog re-engaged as the suspect was trying to escape. Again, this is all prey work. But you're telling me a dog bites at this level will not be a threat to a potential attacker? The dog can bite on command and release on command? I think the distinction between prey work for sport and prey drive aggression versus defense, these are very fine lines. I think some of these dogs can be cross-trained to be personal protection dogs, although they are sport dogs. I think you have to really understand what drive the dog is working in to make that distinction and what the dog is capable of. Mac Van Holstreet is only a sport dog. All these other dogs, they're in both. You can't tell me which dog is capable of what if you didn't put it to the test.
It's 2 a.m. Figure it out. 2 a.m. The gut's still warm.
Yeah, there's a storm on the loose. Sirens in my head. Wrapped up in silence. All circus is dead. Cannot be cold. My whole life spins into a frenzy. And I'm stepping into the twilight zone. This is the madhouse. Feels like King Kong. My beacons can move down the moon and star. Where am I to go now that I've gone too far? You were gone to go, but the bullet hits the bone. So you were gone to go, but the bullet hits the bone. I'm falling down a spiral, destination unknown. Lost messenger on the blood. Can't get no connection. Can't get
Revere!
Father to Lucy. This is him working in America. Back
And
when he
that
was
wraps
alive,
up
this
another
was
episode
filmed
of the
at
Von
least 6,
Ganta
7
House
years ago.
YouTube channel.
And he's a
Thank you
very
for
young
being
dog
part
in
of
this
our
video.
German Shepherd community.
Clearly, all the work
Remember,
you see
you
is
can stay
in
connected
prey
to us
drive.
beyond the podcast.
And this is purely
Find us on
a
all the
prey
major media platforms by
exercise
searching
this
for
dog is
Von
doing.
Ganta
But
House.
I will
Whether
tell
it's
you from personal
Instagram,
experience
Facebook,
that I
Twitter,
was
or YouTube, just hit
attacked
that follow button or
by,
that
two
subscribe
people with
button
a
to
knife
join the
one night
conversation
in East Orange.
and get the latest updates.
And I had
If you have a
Jake with
burning
me.
question or want to apply to be a
And
guest
this
on our
dog,
show, we would love
took
to hear
down
from
both
you.
men
Simply shoot us an
and
email at
almost ripped one guy's throat out.
vongantahouse@gmail.com. And if you are a
Didn't let him
business
go that far.
interested in
So
becoming a
this dog was a
sponsor,
very brave
reach
dog.
out to us at the same
He
email
was trained
address
in
at
prey, but in a real life
vongantahouse@gmail.com.
situation, he
For
reacted.
more resources,
appropriately.
exclusive content, puppy
And these were
reservations,
two armed
visit our
men.
website at
One was armed.
vongantahouse.com. We have blogs and articles you might
This
enjoy as
dog,
well.
trained in prey
It's your
in Schutzhund,
go-to destination for everything
not
German
trained in
Shepherd and
personal
working dog
protection,
sports
acted as
related
necessary.
content. Thank you
The
once
people
again for
saying
tuning
you
in.
can't make
We can't wait to
that
speak with
sport
you
dogs are
again
purely
when we
equipment
explore the
focused.
fascinating world of
I think these
breeding,
are generalizations.
training,
I think
genetics,
it's
and
not
our
true in all
wonderful breed.
circumstances.
Look
My
forward
boy
to
Jake
hearing from you.
demonstrates that.